Here we are. A couple of big things. One of our websites went down yesterday. We were able to pinpoint it. We had a series of updates to do, but apparently, in this situation, we had WP funnels installed, and it was an Astra site, and we had a couple of other tools working, and it looks like something about the update and the order of the updates caused a critical error. And so what we did was we ended up disabling and hiding WP funnel from the site, from the server, doing all of the updates, and then adding WP funnel back, and then sampling the site, and it stayed up. So, in case anyone's wondering, what kind of magic happens behind the scenes. When you own the agency, you don't really get to call somebody and say, "Hey, this is broken." Uh, that's what other people do to us when we are the agency. So we found that, and we got that one fixed. So if you're a WP Funnels user and your website is giving you some issues, maybe hide the WP Funnels folder from your plugins, make all of your updates, and then put in the updated version of WP Funnels, and hopefully you will experience the same success that we had with that. Sometimes I'm tempted to just take WP funnels out. This isn't the first time that this has happened to me. And so sometimes, and it's not a bash against them per se. Remember, there are, just an unbelievable amount of combinations of hosting, server features, server resources, plugins for compatibility, versions of PHP, versions of WordPress. There's a ton that can go wrong, and for the most part, things go right. But when something does go wrong, here at Manana No Mas, we kind of pride ourselves on being able to do a little work, figure things out, and move things forward. Now, that all said, we got that handled. We sent a newsletter today, so right out of the bat, I say newsletters work. We sent out a quick email newsletter today. Went out, not very many people, a few hundred people, and goes out. And sometimes you throw that stuff out there and you wonder, well, hey, what's happening there, right? Is that going to work, or is that not going to work? Well, today we got responses back right away. One of them was from Donna, which is really sweet. She's a nice lady. Where is there we go. House, business, home. There we go. I'm just playing with my inbox. Donna, super nice lady. I've known Donna in the LifterLMS space for a long time. And she comes right out and she says, I usually don't read your emails. But the headline got me. Okay. The headline was battered but not beaten. Battered but not beaten. And then it talked about how I went figure skating this weekend, mountain biking this weekend. I'm still able to walk and function as a healthy old man come Monday. Was I sore? Yes. Was I able to function? Also, yes. And it was kind of a celebration. And then it had some features in it, right? Talked about pricing struggles that we have had with Manana No Mas. We do a lot of coaching here at Manana No Mas and the Kurt Von Annen website. We do a lot of coaching, a lot of business coaching. And so the assumption is, oh, well, he's the coach. He must know what he's doing. It's a good assumption. I'll take it. But in reality, everybody, everybody say everybody, everybody suffers, a little bit of imposter syndrome, a little bit of, struggle with figuring out their own pricing. And in our case, Manana No Mas had put out an unbelievably aggressive, favorable price on a package for local business startups. And the last few times that we have tried to sell the service to people, it's a weird psychology. So I want you to follow me on this. It's a weird psychology. We go, yeah, we can make the website for $1,500 and it's $79 a month to host and maintain it for you. That is a phenomenal deal. If you're a business and you go to have a website made by an agency, you're typically looking at $5,000 out of pocket just having a conversation. So you're typically looking at, $4,000, $5,000, $6,000. And then we came along, Manana No Mas, and we said, hey, we can productize this. We've got a lot of experience. We've got a lot of content. We've got a lot of tools. We've got a lot of templates. We can template this process. We can commoditize this. Basically productize, right? So we're going to productize this package, and we're going to put this out. $1,500. It's a simple package. $1,500. Get you started. $79 for hosting and maintenance. In fact, if you want, and you don't have the $1,500 up front, you can opt to pay $200 a month for the first year. Yes, that's $2,400, but that $2,400 for the year also covers that $79 hosting and maintenance along the way, right? And then once you make all of your monthly payments on time, 12 payments in a row on time, we take away the $200 a month and we bring you down to $79 a month for hosting and maintenance. And we maintain the sites for our clients. So we add their plugins, we take out their plugins, we update the plugins, we update the WordPress core, and we also give them some value-added services along the way, like security and stuff like that. So here is the lesson. The lesson was the last few times that we have met with people to sell them the $1,500 or the $200 a month option, whichever one they choose. Their reaction is like, ooh, it's a lot. Is there a cheaper way? Is there a more affordable way? Is there, and yeah, there is. There's absolutely a more affordable way. You can do it yourself. You can do it yourself. We host the WordPress meetup in town. We teach people how to use the internet for free. If someone wants to, get their own hosting and set up their own WordPress instance and pick their own theme and build their own website out, I am 100% behind that. If they want to do that, that's fine. That's great. That's why we host the meetup. But I can't come in as a for-profit business to business, and have a conversation about reducing the price to build it for you. So if you want to do it yourself, here's the pathway to do it yourself. If you want us to do it, this is our cheapest option. And then of course, we're a full service agency and we have scads of services. We can do local SEO, we can do SEO, we can help you with design, we can do e-learning, you can add e-commerce to this package. You can add a CRM to this package. You can do a lot of things. But here's what we've learned. If you come in at $1,500 for something that's normally $5,000, well, the assumption is there's no value in it. And if there's no value, what am I paying for? If there's no value here, then what am I paying for, right? And so in an effort to be generous to our community, we have unwittingly thrown a dagger in our own backs. And so now what we need to do is we need to go into our website and we need to update all of our pricing and basically double everything. And so that the price anchoring, this is called price anchoring. So that price anchor is going to be $3,000, not $1,500. It's going to be $3,000, and it's going to be $300 a month instead of $200 a month if they want to do the monthly payment process. Not just because we're greedy, but because if we don't price anchor the value in at the price, there's no value implied. And so if there's no value implied, $1,500 sounds like a lot of money for nothing. You see, psychology is a weird thing, a super weird thing. And so now we actually have to charge people more to make them happier. Now picture this. Maybe I make the price $5,000. Right? Because I haven't changed the price yet. Maybe I make the price $5,000. So now the price is anchored at $5,000. It's not anchored at $1,500. It's anchored at $5,000. And then I say, as a local startup referred by Startup Hutch, you get a 25% off coupon. And now we're going to take $1,250 off of that. See? There's a ton of ways to do this. So then they're price anchored at $5,000. The value is this high now. Right? The value is this high. So we've established the value with the price anchor. Now maybe we give them a coupon. And when we give them that coupon, now they're getting a deal at $38.50, right? $37.50, $38.50, $37.50, $37.50. Now they're getting a deal at $37.50 and they're super happy because the value is anchored at $5,000. They're only paying $3,750, and they're happier than the people that got in for $1,500. It is crazy, cray cray when you go through things. And I want to talk about the newsletter idea because the topic came through the newsletter. The lady that sent the response said, this is what spoke to us in this newsletter. This was really good. This hit on the head. Our company needs coaching in this space. Quinky dink, we offer coaching in that space. So by sharing that story, we make a connection, and we do it. So now this is my way of saying newsletters work. Now, how do newsletters work? Most of my newsletters have like the date or this week's update or something simple. This newsletter had a pattern interrupt in it. By a pattern interrupt, I mean I changed the title and it said battered but not beaten, still walking. And people were like, that's different. And they opened it up. And then I put a couple of harder hitting kind of pieces inside the newsletter, very much on purpose. Pattern interrupt, pattern disruption. And we get results right away. It's remember when Gary Vaynerchuk, if you still listen to him years ago, used to talk about, he used to say something like jab, 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 right hook, jab, 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 right hook. Like your messaging is like jab, jab, jab. And then every now and then, right hook. That's kind of like what this is. My newsletter was going out and it started to feel repetitious. It started to feel like it had a cadence to it, an expectation. And then I say, let's change it. Boom. Now, maybe next week it goes back to cadence. Maybe it does that. Or maybe I go, hey, that worked really good. Got a couple of referrals out of that email. Maybe we should up the game more regular, right? But you have to play with things. You have to tweak things. As a business owner, you always need to look at your copy. What's the copywriting on your website? What's the copywriting on your flyers? Do you do direct mail? What's the copywriting on that? When's the last time you changed the image on the postcard that gets mailed out? Like, you have to take a look at those things, and you have to be willing to make those changes and come at people from a different position of helping them. Come to people with a different perspective. So this takes us to the next thing. Talking about making changes. The good folks at WP Managed Ninja. I have, and I am not, I should probably double check and make sure that I'm not lying right now, but I'm pretty sure I have not signed up for any affiliate programs with Fluent. I just really like their product. And so looking at the Fluent line of products, I have covered for you on these lives and with other things, like especially for LifterLMS, I have covered like using Fluent Cart, hooking up Fluent CRM. Fluent CRM Pro integrates automatically with LifterLMS. And so these types of things, to me, they all go really well together, which is why I so enthusiastically support some of these products from Jewel and the team over at WP Managed Ninjas. It's good stuff. Now, I knew that they were working on making Fluent Cart work with full site editing. Full site editing is the newest way to edit sites in WordPress, short of Etch. Etch is a page builder. But in the WordPress direct, kind of way of working with websites, if we are editing, old school themes like Astra and Cadence and stuff, we're going to be in the block editor, or there's the full site editing. Full site editing is interesting. And it's interesting to me because full site editing applies to SkyPilot. And SkyPilot is the theme from LifterLMS. So this is important, okay? Fluent Cart just dropped. Anyone working with stores and working with a modern WordPress theme, full site editing support is now fully compatible with Fluent Cart, okay? And so the full site editing compatible block theme, which in the case of LifterLMS is SkyPilot, we won't have any problems using Fluent Cart with SkyPilot. Now, to do that, they've had to add some Gutenberg blocks. So there's a mini cart block. That mini cart block places a live cart summary anywhere on your website. So if you want to put that, into the site, you can put that in there. product blocks, product carousel blocks, right? So people can choose from a range of items that you have. Product image blocks, product category short codes, and all of that goes there. Now, a lot of people sell courses through LifterLMS in other countries where they have to have VAT. Well, now there's VAT information that's been updated in the newest version of Fluent Cart. And so it fixes the issues with VAT. It fixes some conflicts that were evident with light and dark themes. So they've been able to fix that. And they've added some styles for a shop toolbar and for like view switchers. So I'm not really big into that part of it, but I wanted to let you know that that was there. And that is release note 1.3.10. And that brings us to the end of our episode today. Have a good one. Bye bye.